friends. Good to be with you all. And thank you for the introduction and for inviting me. Yeah, so I'm gonna go quickly here. So I've got yeah just some things to share about our weird philosophy at SparkToro about how we do things. So I wanted to begin by talking about my kind of philosophy around work. And that is, I have this belief that modern capitalism is not so great. Kind of sucks in a lot of ways, and I think that we can see why that is and why so many people have lost faith in sort of what's called late stage capitalism. And I share a lot of empathy around this. I say this as someone who is obviously an entrepreneur and who cares about I like making companies. I like the kind of work that I do. I love the things that it brings, but I also recognize that a lot of people have been left behind, especially in the last 30, 40 years of capitalism. And I think the best part, the one part that I really love about capitalism, at least as a philosophy and kind of the governing entity of our modern era, is that you get to choose where and how to do your labor, right? No one decides for you, hey, you must be this, you must do that. If there's demand and need and you have the skills, you can apply them. What I will say is, I think that in order to philosophically like do better in a capitalist world, upward mobility is governed a lot by changing fields, by doing the things that where there is demand, and hopefully where you also have passion and interest. And hey, I mean, I feel very lucky to have passion and interest where I do. I want to be clear though. While almost everyone who's seeing this presentation, kind of fits into that world of people who have that freedom, not everyone does, and there's plenty of people who are left behind, and that sucks. I have some beliefs about the kind of work that we generally do, right? Highly in demand knowledge workers. I think that our most important job is to make great decisions, not anything else. And to make great decisions, you need a few things, right? You need to feel psychologically safe and well rested and happy. You need to feel that your work matters. Life is about more than just work. And if you have the luxury to trade stress and unhappiness for more time and more satisfaction, you should do that. Even if the pay is less. This is my personal belief. Your philosophy may differ. And I think companies work best when everyone has the same goals, expectations, and similar rates of pay. So I think that it is very difficult to have a great company long term when the CEO or the executive team is making 50 to 100 times more than the average employee. And I think it's much easier when those numbers are more like historical averages, like from 50 years ago, where it's maybe 3 to 5 or even up to 10, but not more than that. So how does all this fit into chill work and hustle culture? And Anne asked me to join today to speak about chill work, I think because the philosophy resonated with her, and maybe with this idea of what we might be in the future, of what a less problematic version of capitalism might be long term, maybe a less problematic version of work. And maybe that can start with some of us who are building small and medium businesses, and that could be great. So I thought I'd try and compare and contrast. I don't want to be too harsh on traditional culture, corporate culture, or hustle culture, as it's sort of termed, right? Hustle culture being kind of the ethos of work as hard as you can all the time to try and make as much money as you can. And there's a lot of people who like that, who obviously support it. I'm not one of them, but to each their own, right? You should be able to do what you want to do. But chill work is well understood in comparison. So in chill work environment, what we do as SparkToro is sort of prioritize people who do high quality, very independent work with almost no management overhead. As an example, so Amanda and Casey and I were the only 3 people at SparkToro. We meet about once every month. We email each other semi-regularly. Sometimes we chat over, I don't know, Twitter DM or Google Chat, but we don't really check in on each other like, hey, how's that project coming? And like, hey, can you work on this thing next? And no, we all know what we're doing. We're all independent workers. We all strive to do the best thing that we think is the right thing to do for SparkToro. Sometimes we have ideas and we run it past each other, but it's very low management overhead. I would say that as a CEO, I'm one of the least CEO-like CEOs in that, as compared to my previous job, right, at Moz, where I had 200 employees and lots of layers of management, SparkToro is a completely different beast. And I think in hustle culture, right, the idea is you hire people who you believe will go above and beyond, right? They'll go all out in hours, all out in time, all out in effort. And that's not what we care about at all at SparkToro. Mostly we care about, hey, are you doing a good job and getting results? When you do it, how you do it, what projects you choose to do, that's up to you. If goals are not met in our environment, right, we sort of consider changing, well, is that what we should go after, right? And I think in hustle culture, the response usually to unmet goals is we need to work harder and more. For us, financial success, we believe to be driven primarily by the quality of decisions that we make, the quality of product decisions we make, the quality of who we bring onto the team, the quality of how we choose to design our organization, of data that we put inside our product and how we manage and maintain that and how we show it to people and how and where we market it. And I think in hustle culture, the belief is sort of, again, the difficulty, the hardness with which you work and the hours that you work, that is the only constraint or the input towards financial success. For us, all the inputs we believe should be in service of long-term happiness of customers and team. That from that shareholder value or owner value or whatever will flow and follow. I think in the hustle culture, right, the belief is sort of that the measuring stick is financial gain, which works for some folks, doesn't work well for me. So to get to the practical elements of, if you like the concepts of chill work and it resonates with you and you think, gosh, yeah, it sounds interesting, I'd like to explore more. In this case, I tried to compare it not against hustle culture, which is more ideological, but more against traditional corporate culture, which of course I've been part of in the past, right? And in systems design, like how do I design a business? How do I design a company, an organization? In chill work, we try to minimize meetings and process. We just trust people. The 3 of us are going to do great. If we bring on a 4th person, they're going to do the right thing. If they don't do the right thing, we'll let them go. Find another 4th person. It's okay. They can go to another place. There's plenty of supply and demand in our world. Everyone's goals in a chill work, in our chill work environment at least, and their incentives tie to one clear, simple business objective. So basically, Casey and I, our goal is repay our investors, and then we all participate in profit sharing. And so, this year and probably for many years to come, our goal is sort of have a good net profit bottom line, which will make us happy and make our investors happy. And this is also how Amanda's bonus works. So basically, if we sort of hit goals or exceed them, she makes more money as we hit that net profit goal, right? So, and that would probably be the case with anyone who joined the team. Our philosophy is keep the team as small as possible. It's very hard, I think, I don't think chill work scales particularly well. Maybe it will, right? Maybe I'll talk to you in 10 years and SparkToro will be much larger and I'll say, oh, actually, we were able to scale up chill work and here's how we did it. Today, I don't know how that works, but I'll tell you that our philosophy is to keep the team as small as possible. And to do that, we outsource to a lot of service providers. So we have people who take care, we have a great tax person, a great accounting person, people who help us with wireframing, people who help us with conversion rate optimization, people who help us with some marketing stuff, with web design and development, all kinds of things. And I love that. I love outsourcing. I love giving other small businesses and service providers work. I love paying them well. I love relying on their expertise instead of having to try and build up some, strength internally. It's fantastic. And we prioritize in this order. In this order, the team's happiness, then our customers' happiness, then our community, the community sort of around SparkToro and digital marketing universe, which is the field that we're in, and then our shareholders' happiness. And ironically, we believe this is actually one of the best ways to make shareholders very happy. We also only pursue work that's necessary, with some occasional exceptions, like like this morning. Saying no to almost everything and only doing a few things that either we really love or love doing, or that we think is absolutely necessary to the business. And of course, traditional corporate culture, right? You can see the comparisons, right? They're going to create processes that let the organization scale and function no matter who's in a given position, right? So it's designed to have people that you not necessarily can't trust, but don't need to be completely self-sufficient, and hopefully those processes will help. Goals and incentives are completely variable. They vary by role, they vary by function, they vary by management level or where you are in the org. Team size is generally actually seen as a marker of success rather than something that you should try and constrain. And the goal in most corporate cultures is optimized for maximum growth rate and financial benefit to the owners or shareholders, right? So kind of capital over labor philosophy as opposed to a labor over capital philosophy. I guess you could say we're somewhat socialist in this way. And a fair question that I would have is, wait a minute, this sounds mad. Can it actually work? Like, is it possible to build a company like this? And I don't know how the next few years will go. Obviously, I think that we're hitting at least a little bit of a speed bump in terms of economic times, at least here in the US. And maybe that will take its toll on SparkToro, but we have had 2 years of growth that are actually faster than the first 2 years. Faster, but better in terms of financial growth than the first 2 years that I ran Moz as a software company. And Moz, of course, was venture backed and had all these different things. But yeah, I back in those days, I was doing regular 50-hour weeks and really burning myself out, trying to live the hustle culture and traditional corporate culture life. And these days I play a lot of video games and I travel, and I get to see friends and I get to surprise Geraldine with pizza classes in Napoli. This is my wife Geraldine, and a bunch of friends who surprised us in Italy. That's Casey, my co-founder, up in the top with his girls. They came over after watching the movie Luca, so we could all make pesto together. And Amanda and I in the corner doing the dinosaur hands. Like we have really good lives. Like, we're very, very lucky in what we get to do and how we get to live. And a big part of that is designing a company that doesn't need us always to be on, and that can function with a very light team and a very small amount of work. And I think there's something to this. I hope that it's an idea that can spread further, at least for people who want to take advantage of it. And if you're one of them, I'm happy to be a resource and to chat about it more. I've written a blog post about this. I'll send out these slides as well. And yeah, thank you for coming to my short talk. Cheers.